From the USA all the way to Australia, we've got Eternal 59 happening in Melbourne on the 7th of May. Now, boys, we're in Perth in Feb. We're in the Gold Coast for the double header in March. Now, it seems like a rhetorical question, but how has the year been?
Fuck, interesting. Yeah. It's just so hard with all these government rules and regulations and stuff. But as far as Eternal's gone, the shows we have put on have been amazing. Like, we're really, really happy with, one, the standard of MMA in this country at the grassroots level and sort of the way the matches have come together. And, the last show, to beat the last show is going to take a lot of doing. But there's some potential on that card to do that. But yeah, Eternal 58 sort of set the benchmark for the year so far.
Yeah, it's been a cracking year so far. There was obviously the disappointment in Melbourne at the end of January, obviously with travel restrictions out at the hotspot, which was Brisbane and Queensland at the time. But we're just now at the start of April, and we've already caught that show back up. Just with the way our scheduling goes, we're able to keep all the athletes satisfied and move them up to the Gold Coast in March. Coming off the back of the huge event in Perth in February, and we roll on to Melbourne. We're maybe disappointed the peeps down there in January, but we're down there again, 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks time, and we'll be down there another couple of times this year. But yeah, we've got some fantastic fights in the Eternal 59 card. Sean Etchell and Sam Hibbard, the main event's obviously going to be one to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely huge. A little history, boys. What's some of your memories from some of the Eternal events in Melbourne previously?
Well, the first time I went to Melbourne, I had 3 guys on the card, 2 title fights, and Mini T sort of opened the show. I walked away with 3 wins, so I like the pavilion. Jack defended his title in spectacular fashion, and Mitch Martin had a war to end all wars with Ben Watson, and came away with a decision, well deserved. So yeah, I have awesome memories of the pavilion, and it's a spectacular venue to put MMA fights on.
I've got a few memories of Melbourne last night down there. One of them that I'll just kind of skim over the top of, which would be getting to the end of what was, quite
Casey's weight cut.
Casey's weight cut. Jesus Christ. Yeah, we won't get into that one. It'll take too long. I'll come to the end of what was a huge night, and then being confronted by a very drunk individual that proceeded to cause half an hour's worth of mayhem in front of everybody will stick with me for a long time. And going back to pull the cage down the next morning with Ben and a couple of other people that helped us, and just chatting about the night before, and then some extra hands turned up. Mitch Martin, who'd fought the night before, Dan Williams, who'd fought the night before, and Casey, who'd fought the night before, all turned up and pulled the cage down with us on Sunday morning.
Della never turned up. He big timed us, didn't he?
Yeah, he was already on the show best hat.
But yeah, no, that was great to see the fighters come and help us pull the cage down the next day. It just goes to show the level of care and stuff they have for the promotion. And yeah, we really appreciate stuff like that. So anyone else who wants to help us bring the cage down next weekend.
Snags might be there, boys. You never know. Mate, huge event coming up. Obviously, the boys are absolutely pumped about it. We were extremely disappointed when January rolled around and the whole COVID fuck around. But mate, we're pumped to have one in our hometown. But some big fights. I think we've got six pro fights on the card for the night.
Maybe 7. We're adding, not including the Beebs and Tom Cruise.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to have another fight as we speak, which would be an amazing local fight. Hopefully, we'll have word on that tomorrow and get that announced. But yeah, the fight, we got Kev Jusay, should I say, coming in from City Kickboxing to fight Saeed Fatahifa from Sydney. So that is going to be an amazing welterweight sort of number 1 contender sort of level clash. And then you got one of my boys, Rod Costa, taking on Khan Offley, which is we're going to be treated to some serious grappling in that fight. I would suggest.
Sure. Or is it Sean's coming off the back of the win from the tournament, and he's facing up the champion against Sam? What's that fight?
Sean didn't fight. No, Justin Van Eerden pulled out.
Yeah.
Sorry, just missed weight. Trent.
Justin missed weight. Trent Gurdon pulled out. Yeah. God, you get so confused. Like, why can't people just turn up and have a fight? I don't understand it. Maybe I'm a bit old school, but when you sign a contract, you're supposed to rock up and fight at the end of it. That's what I always thought. But people are sensitive these days, and sometimes it doesn't happen. Sean Etchell rocked up, made weight, and didn't get to fight, which is disgraceful, really. Oh, but he will get his chance. He'll fight Sam. And yeah, I'm sure he'll be extremely motivated and hungry after the disappointment of the last time.
Do you boys get to like pick who, like you got a vision into? You're obviously not going to say it on the potty, but do you know who's going to, you tip for the winners, especially for the big fights?
I always think we have half a clue, but it never works out. I'm terrible at picking fights. Don't ever follow my picks. I'm terrible.
Is there one of those matchups where you're just like, hey, come along for this fight? Like, I know you just said that before, Ben, but like you said, there's a couple of wars brewing there and a grappling match that's going to be next level. But is there a fight?
You know what's going to be good is Lisa Kiriaki's making her pro debut against Jacinta Austin. So, that's going to be a good fight because Lisa brings it, and Jacinta's a very experienced striker. So yeah, I expect fireworks in that one, and I love women's MMA, so I'm really expecting to see some. And it's hard to get hold of good pro female matches these days, so I'm really excited about that fight.
Yeah, we had her on our locals only content this week, and one of the things that we asked Lisa was, who do you want to fight next? And she was just like, whoever wants to fight me. And she laughs a little bit just at the end of it, and there was this little bit of evilness, a little bit of it's going to go down in her voice just through that laugh. I liked it, so that's got me pumped, that one.
Cam, what's the lead up look like for you and Benny? Obviously, there's a fair bit that goes in to get the event up and going. How's the next couple of weeks look for you boys? Is it just all hands on deck, or you kind of home and hosed?
Yeah, we're matching 3 shows at the moment. Yeah. So,
shit.
It's hectic. It's hectic, but it all just melds into one, really. And yeah, we're flying into Melbourne on the Tuesday, so be boots on the ground from Tuesday, and we're bringing a decent sized team with us this time, so should be a little less hectic than the last time we were there. But look, our life 365 24/7, we're at it, making fights, flying around. Like I've literally just arrived back from the sunny coast, and yeah, we're straight back into it. There's no even while we're away, we're sort of working away on these fights. It's just it's a vicious circle. It just goes round and round and round. We keep telling ourselves we're going to have a month off, and then we just put something else in there.
It must be at least 4 or 5 years that we treated it like that, where we were going from show to show. It probably went from going to show to being 365 days a year and full weeks of work. Now it's just what we do. It's like of every single day. It doesn't matter where you are or who you're with. You've got your phone in your pocket. You've usually got access to your laptop within seconds. We're just working constantly. It makes things easier and it makes things harder. We'll start putting in good processes and procedures, and things just roll from show to show. Ben says we're bringing a decent team with us to Melbourne, but we're building that team round about us at home as well. We've got some fantastic people round about us all the time now. So yeah, it's tough and there's a lot to do, but every other promoter in the country is in the same boat. 3 weeks out from event, we shouldn't have to feel special just because we do so many shows.
Yeah,
it's not very family friendly, as you can see. Like I live in here.
No, 100%, Cam. I remember you did an interview with Fight News Australia just after the Gold Coast one. It said two events back to back. Have you recovered? And you said the only recovery I've got is being able to sleep in to 10 a.m. on Monday. And such is the life of a promoter. I remember Charles Sonnen talking about he was down in Brazil filming an episode of The Ultimate Fighter, and Dana White texted him at something like 2 a.m. American time in the morning saying, hey, you keen for this fight? And that's just it, isn't it? You start to live this sport and the phone's always on, and that's just the nature of it.
Yeah, I remember that phone call when Chael was telling the story about that phone call. And Chael says to him, what are you doing up at this time? Dana apologised to him because he thought it was him that was up late, but he was really meaning about the time that Dana was up. You know, it was like 4 a.m. he was phoning him. But no, that's the same. I think Ben will tell you the exact same, you know, and most promoters will. You know, you pick up your phone at any minute of any day and there's a message or a phone call that you've missed or still to return. It's just that we return a lot more of them than the other people at the moment, you know, so we are constantly on our phones, we're constantly travelling, we're constantly working. And that's a good thing because these other guys are out doing other jobs, whereas we're getting to put the time into something that we wanted to do.
Is having 3 cards planning for, is that kind of the most you guys have looked in the future for cards at this present time?
Yeah, 3's about like normal because we'd have like a cycle of 3 shows, try and have a bit of time off.
Yep.
Not necessarily, well, we wouldn't have any time off, but time off having a physical show, but still preparing for the next three shows concurrently. But when it's Perth, Gold Coast in that 3, generally I'll just take care of Perth and Cam will just take care of the Gold Coast. So it's kind of like doing 2 and then having a little bit of input on the ones interstate if we're looking for opponents for people out of state and stuff like that.
Yep.
So for me, it never seems to stop. It's just a constant, which is great because I love it. Like I'm fully immersed in the sport. You know, I don't want to do anything else. You know, I run a gym. I've got fighters. I'm 24/7 knee deep in this sport, and there's nothing else I'd rather do.
What's Snag's got to do to get Jack Jenkins, Dem Skilly, and Jack Della all to Melbourne for us to watch? Like, talk to me, boys. I'm open to offers. What do you need?
Jack Della might struggle.
Unless it's September.
Is that
it won't be in Melbourne.
Oh, come on, boys.
Yeah, look, people may have missed the boat to watch Jack in Australia. That's all I'm going to say.
There we go. Okay. Keep our lips tight on that one.
But yeah, the other boys, you got a pretty good chance sometime this year of that happening.
Where do we get tickets to this fight? And how's the lead up going? And what's the hype around it leading in?
We're sending everybody these days just to the website, eternalmma.com. The last couple of months, we decided to start taking the website seriously, so it's kept up to date. And there's live ticket links there that you can purchase straight to Eventbrite via the website. So go that way. The lead up's good. You know, it's a tight little card in Melbourne. We like the shorter show because it's a Friday night. We've got to start it a little bit later so people can get there from work. We've got to finish at a decent time. People don't want to be there all night. So we've got a nice little short card. It's good fights on it. Some really good fighters. A couple of the divisions have got possibility of, you know, contenders coming out of this card as well. And Melbourne being the sporting capital of Australia, we've only been there once since October 2019. We're trying to get that back a lot more often. It'll just be good to get this show in the books.